Hi, everybody. This is the discussion on Henry VIII and how he failed to be a true leader, um, according to the document that we read about implementing ethics and standards. Henry VIII failed to be a true leader for several reasons. One being personal desires over ethical governance. He would prioritize his personal desires over ethical governance and the well being of his country. His decisions, such as breaking with the church to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, were driven more by personal motives than by a commitment to ethical leadership or the public good. Another way King Henry VIII failed as a true leader was his use of power for personal gains. His reign was marked using his power for personal and political gain rather than for ethical purposes. He manipulated laws and religious tenets to serve his interests, such as by establishing the Church of England primarily to gain control over religious authority and to ultimately remarry. A true leader is expected to uphold consistent ethical standards. Henry's actions were often inconsistent and self serving. For example, his treatment of his wives, advisors, and political enemies was frequently harsh and arbitrary, leading to executions and purges without due process of justice. He failed to foster a culture of ethics. Leaders implant ethics and standards by setting examples and fostering a culture of integrity. Henry's court was known for intrigue, betrayal, and lack of moral clarity, suggesting that he failed to create an environment where ethical behavior was valued or expected. Um, he Henry's leadership style became increasingly autocratic, especially as he aged. He suppressed dissent. He suppressed dissent and punished those who opposed his policies, and often brutally. This kind of leadership does not implant ethics and standards, but instead creates a culture of fear and obedience rather than moral integrity. Conversely, Thomas More demonstrated being a good civil servant through several key aspects of his life and his actions. He was known for his strong moral principles and his commitment to ethical behavior. As a civil servant, he upheld his beliefs even when it was difficult or dangerous. His refusal to support King Henry's decision to break with the church and his refusal to endorse the king's marriage to Anne Boleyn exemplify his dedication to his principles over personal safety or political expediency. Thomas More was a strong advocate for the rule of law and justice. During his time as Lord Chancellor, he was known for his fairness and dedication to justice, striving to ensure that the law was applied justly and without favoritism. His actions reflected a deep commitment to ethical standards, showing that he valued the integrity of the legal system above personal or political consideration. When considering current events in the context of implementing ethics and standards, examples of both good and poor civil leadership can be found across variable global situations. Some good examples of civil leadership would include Jacinda Ardern's her response to COVID-19 and the Christchurch attack. She, as the Prime Minister of New Zealand, has been praised for her leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic and the Christchurch mosque shootings. In regards to ethics and standards, her leadership demonstrated empathy, clear communication, and swift decision making. Her focus on science based policies and transparent communication during the pandemic helped build public trust. Her compassionate response to the Christchurch attack, including introducing strict gun laws, showcased her commitment to public safety, inclusivity, and ethical governance. An example of poor leadership today would be Alexander Lukashenko, president of Belarus. He has been criticized for his authoritarian rule and his suppression of political dissent, especially following the 2020 presidential election, which was widely regarded as fraudulent. In regards to ethics and standards, his leadership is characterized by a lack of ethical governance, including human rights abuse, suppression of free speech, manipulation of the political system. His actions violate fundamental ethical standards, demonstrating a failure to uphold the principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability. Thank you. And that is my discussion for this week for King Henry VIII, Thomas More, and our current events in regards to ethics and standards. Thank you.